You guys asked for it. A long form video for the channel. I hope that this format works out. Landscape. Enjoy it. Now, it's also the spooky season. It's October 2nd as of filming this. It is the best season. Fight me on that. And I thought today we could start off with something simple with showing off my Trackmaster rolling stock collection, specifically my sort of Trackmaster 2 to the 2025 stuff. Some of it's completely stock and the rest of it is custom or customized in a certain way. So I figured we could start simple with the ones I actually just got the other day. The Trackmaster 2025 Troublesome trucks that come with the classic Thomas. And basically, I think these are really, really good, but not as good as I'd say the one from like 2020 or like 2021, because these do not wobble. And if you will observe the All Engines Go version of these trucks, it wobbles because they have offset wheels. And these used to have offset wheels, except for some reason now they don't. Except they have been replaced with the new axle box chassis design that's also carried over to the tender engines and the new wheel design. That's not to distract from the fact that these are bad. The fact they don't wobble is a bit disappointing, but they certainly make up for it in terms of the painted detail that's there. Plus, you can never have too many troublesome trucks. Next up was something kind of associated with those two, and I literally just said this one. The reason the face is differently painted is because this one was you can kind of see in there the orange. It was from a Circle Trackmaster push along set, and it had a Thomas push along this truck that did wobble at some point. A few hills and then a barn looking tunnel. It was like red. I immediately grabbed the set just for this, especially because it was on special when I bought it. And obviously I've swapped it out with the new base, new wheels, and tried to fix it up. Which the thing I'm going to do is not get rid of the rust detail on this, but I am going to paint these frames black, because that is how they normally are painted. And I may give this thing one more repaint on the face just to have it match up somewhat with this. And also, I forget from what, but an All Engines Go crate load, so I can pop that in there. Those three are looking snazzy together. Another one would be the tankers, or the tanker, that came with the 2025 James 3-pack. Now, the first one I have already sprayed black, and you may or may not be able to see on camera. I don't think it picks it up, but I took the body and then specifically sprayed upwards to have a bit of a speckle thing. You may or may not see it in the light. A bit of a mixture of brown and grey, but that's that one. And the second James that I got for my Edward custom, I took that tanker and I made it yellow to sort of represent a Sodor fuel tanker. In fact, you can kind of see on one side I tried to write Sodor, but then I realized it was crudely done. So this is a very weathered yellow tanker, which I took by watering down black paint and then splotching it in certain areas, and then just either smearing it with my thumb or letting it sit there for a little bit, maybe about a minute, and then sort of like brush it around. That's why it looks a lot more like drippy in water, especially around the tank area. I made sure to do a lot more around the bottom. You can see a bit more of a splotchy area here. I would have kept one of these like white for like a Tidmouth milk tanker, but I'm pretty sure everyone is going to already be doing that. So yeah, and also I kind of like the fact that I maybe didn't do any text on here. I'd love to have text on either these or like some other future customs, but makes it seem a lot more like I can do what I want with these. Like, they don't strictly have to be a fuel tanker or an oil or tar tanker. They could just be something else. And another one here, another sort of truck. This one is not alive like those ones. This is not obviously one of the 2025 molds. It's from like, I think, an All Engines Go one. But what I do like about it is the reason I have so much of these spare ones here are because for my tender engines, I don't keep this truck chassis on them. I replace it with the slightly older version where it's a lot more like solid looking and blocky. I think that reflects the tender axle boxes a little more better. So that would then leave, I think I've got this and then another one down to my left. So I've got quite a lot of spare, a lot of these for basically turning some of these trucks to match some of these. Except at the time I only had these geared wheels. Now that we have these new wheel designs back, I really hate, maybe not hate, but like I don't like these ones, especially because I use these on the Trackmaster 1 sort of tan track. And to make this one a little bit more unique from the others is instead of using the normal tarp load, you can see I've already spray painted it. Instead of using that, no, it can't fit. But instead of using one of these, I decided to make a lot more of a flatter looking one. I just took some, mixed up some paint on there. Obviously it's cardboard glued on some of the things. Some cardboard frames I stuck in there, so there's like a skinny bit of cardboard every couple of bits here. And then if I like really push into that, that's not going to get dented at all. So yeah, just the sort of tarp looking sort of truck. And another one, which this one's a bit of an oldie. I think this is literally from like 2015. One of the flatbeds from my old Trackmaster Samson that I got. The one that when he came with the big 3-pack with the dinosaurs on it. I believe, yeah, this is the maroon, not maroon, the red one. I don't know, I have no clue where the other one went. I think it was blue or dark blue. Someone can tell me what Trackmaster pack came with the dark blue one. Maybe it was the Lost Treasure one, but you can kind of see I put a face there. This was a part of my sort of AU sort of looking flatbeds, although it obviously blends in pretty good with this. But besides the face, well, actually, crucial detail, I put wood along here and along the base parts so it can hold something without it sliding around. I'll try and get like something for reference. Maybe not the Batmobile, but basically just some sort of other short-based vehicle. Try. No, maybe. Yeah, we'll leave it still. So it doesn't slide around. Even if... Well, that just didn't really work out, did it? Yeah, just maybe slightly secure the load a bit more better. There we go. And another one is one that is entirely my own design. This box fan you may have seen pop up in the trains, specifically at the back in my YouTube shorts. This is I think, if I can tell, oh yes. This was the truck that came with the Thomas 2-pack, so my first 2025 one I got. And then as I got more and more of these, I figured there's a new sort of like utility van mold, which we'll get to in a second. But there is no short version, so I entirely chalked this up to my own design, fully cardboard, actually no, mixture of sort of cardboard and paddle pop stick wooden frames on the inside. So this thing is not denting at all. It's not really specifically based on one design. It's sort of just a nondescript box car. Tried to give it a bit of detail with like some metal wire for what I think what is it? Those like a water drain, like where the water sweeps off the roof. I don't exactly what they call them here, but yeah, didn't have to swap out anything. Well, I guess I did have the wheels. I gave the wheels to some other ones that kind of warranted them. But yeah, the new base, the stupid geared wheels. That's yeah, we can stick them on there. And another one was the brake van that came with the Percy Classic 3-pack with the mail van, which that one will be next. But you can kind of already see I've maybe painted it. I'm not exactly done with the base. I still got to maybe do a bit more coats there, and the roof is not attached. But you can kind of see in there I filled in the gaps on the back wall because for some reason it just looks like a freaking like jail cell bars there. So I obviously wanted to maybe just give it more of a solid look. So there. For this item, I actually don't know exactly why it folds over this much. Like maybe it was trying to copy the utility van since that's what it was in the pack. But I'm hoping to make maybe a Toad the Brake van to go along with an Oliver custom that I'm making. This isn't Oliver, but this is my upcoming Ryan custom. Tommy Thomas Smokebox there. But yeah, I tried to paint it like the LMS 20-ton. There's a lot of 20 tons from the different railways, but I think this is an LMS 20-ton brake van. And the lamp is chopped off from the Percy that I used to make my Stanley. There's his disembodied boiler off to the side there. So, bit of extra detail. Still got to fix it up just a little bit more. Still, like I said, a couple of these will have geared wheels because I gave the geared wheels to some that actually need or warrant the geared wheels more than others. And from the same pack, we have the mail van. Now, this one I haven't done anything to, but I am planning to get a second one to basically go along with my Henry custom. I want to give Henry his own rolling stock, so I want to get a second one of these and then spray it brown, or like maybe remove the decals if I can so they don't show through, but remove the decals, spray it brown, maybe a bit more different color, like maybe a white roof or a black roof of some kind, but make that a flying kipper van for Henry, and then I may or may not do something with the other brake van. To be honest, that kind of thing is going to Nia because I'm really only getting Nia for the elephant to go along with the Henry, so like a Henry and the elephant. The brake van because, well, with these flaws aside, it's nice to have brake vans again. And I may or may not change up the livery for Nia. Actually, I am. I put a poll, then everyone voted in. So thanks for that. This is what got me back when they revealed these. What warranted me to make this because I know that there's like a new mail van, but there's no short box van or like one that's done right, like that stupid red one that came with Thomas back then. I had a bunch of those. I hated using them, but yeah. Well, I guess the only thing really is like since this is basic, I can actually show you like it as a normal. I don't really like why the wheels are bronze on there. Well, neither of these were also bronze, so like I gave them really the only black wheels I had here. I might swap these out with like grey ones if I ever get like maybe a second troublesome truck. No, sorry, classic Thomas to get these troublesome trucks because you can never have more. You can never have enough of these. But I also don't know why they didn't print the mail logo on the other side, which yeah, that was kind of odd of them to not do. But hey, it makes my job easier for making a kipper van. All I got to do is just get some dead oil and like maybe rub it off like that. So there's the mail coach. Here is also the other two ones that I have actually done one thing to. The Annie and Clarabel from the Talking Thomas. And I'm not so sure. It's kind of a trend now that like the new version of Annie and Clarabel for each range has to come in either the 3-pack, or I guess that was only the 2020 one, or the talking ones, because I know that the All Engines Go Annie and Clarabel only came with the talking one. So basically, yeah, it was just kind of weird how they did that there. But got them here now. I got rid of those stupid geared wheels, and this is probably what I mean by taking geared wheels, or not that one, but taking the geared wheels off and then giving these ones to rolling stock that actually matters more at having the non-geared wheels. But yeah, I might actually paint the seats in there. It's just a shame that like the inside is actually out of scale with everything else. And I also may or may not, because it'll take a bit of color matching, but I might give Clarabel her guards compartment right there. So there are the Annie and Clarabel, and the other one and last one for today is Elsie. Now, this one was not at all planned. This was made long before the 2025 range was introduced, but since actually ironically, this was made with that green van. Initially, this is the one that came with Percy in um like 2019 or something, like the orange mail van that like no one likes. But initially I made an Elsie out of the green van that came with Trackmaster 2 Toby when it came out. That custom's long gone, and quite frankly, I'm actually kind of glad because this looks way better than it did. So yeah, obviously a lot of card had to be used to make a lot of this. These they're like these little handrails or like rods. They're on like, I think they're also on like a bunch of like Railway Series Annie and Clarabel trains models as well, but I don't exactly know what they are. But steps, new doors, new hinges, NW. You can tell this was my AU sort of one where I kind of cringily put NW on everything. Not to discredit anyone who does do that, but yeah, a face that semi matches the coaches. I tried to make this look matching more with like Annie and Clarabel's livery since it's a baggage car for luggage that goes with coaches, but ironically it goes with Toby, so it should probably match more with Henrietta. But yeah, black roof. This little chimney here, I think it's a chimney or like maybe an air vent of some kind. That's a straw. More cardboard for these gutter. That's what they were. That's what these were as well. These I think these gutter things that like wipe, like when the rain comes in, it just like washes it off. Um, and the buffer, it looks kind of weird and up close, but like far away, it kind of looks all right. I had to extend the buffer beams up, and with this, you can really tell that well, maybe not with this, but like something that's a little bit more like in scale with her. You can really tell Elsie is a very squat, very little piece of rolling stock. Like I even made her eyes position looking up because naturally she'd be that height. So, or naturally she'd be looking up at somebody. So yeah, I think that definitely makes it pretty good. And with that, we have come to the end of discussing my Trackmaster 2, both either customs and just my Trackmaster 2 ones in general. I may or may not make a part 2 with my Tomy rolling stock, which I've definitely made a lot more customs for, with that, including some actual flying kipper vans, a brake coach for the express coaches, and just a lot more. So, yeah, hopefully you guys like the long form content. These are, I'm imagining in the future will probably be unscripted and I'll just waffle on into the camera. But I hope you guys liked and enjoyed the new format here, and hope to see you guys around. See yous.